Hey guys, this is Spark Plus Ultra here, and this is part 5 on what if Deku had Werehog powers. New power of rising. And I hope you like this video and hope you subscribe. Well, Zuko was learning about how to use One For All on the few weeks. Zuko was also wondering why his quirk is always having a interesting effect with this quirk. And feeling his muscles tighten up like a bungee cord. And Suki then says, I'm feeling stiff as hell. And then Suki transforms into his Werehog mode. Oh wow! I didn't expect this to happen. And Asta looks at his Werehog state. Oh wow, this quirk actually affects not even amount of darkness that I can hold when I'm ever in the moon. It actually expands that, or even to the point that I don't need to use it as much, as frequently. And Suki then says, well, I wasn't even using much of the night. Even that, it would take a while to regain so much healing out of this. Thanks to that Nomu. That one hurts a lot. Can't believe he actually got me. Oh. And Suki then says, I don't care. Sometimes it's better to learn how to deal with these guys. And I was not expecting that, the shock absorption. That one hurts as hell. While putting his neck and cracking it to feel much freely. Zuki then says, the tournament is almost about time. And Zuki then says, better recharge the batteries. And Zuki goes into the house and takes a rest in the middle of the night. Then, the next day, Zuki feels a little uncomfortable. What the hell? I had a good sleep. Why does it have to be such a bitch? And Suki tries to have something to heal it with. And Suki gets to Yue and sits into his seat. And Suki feeling his whole body stretching out. This is a pain in the ass. And when Suki was thinking about that, he heard a certain person and all the classes that were angry at class 1A on getting a bit famous on, or making the school look bad or whatever, saying bad things that Suki in his Werehog state didn't really care much. Even if he was in human mode or human state, he would just really pay attention much. And Zuki tries to get something to nurse's office to get a reliever on how much stretching or pain of tightening his muscle. And when he goes to the nurse's office, he comes across with Choco. And Zuki says, hey Choco. And Choco says, oh, hey Zuki, how's it going? And Zuki says, massive stick up my butt, but it's fine. And Choco says, did anything happen to your fight when you fought the Nomu? I know you were hit pretty hard. And Zuki says, yeah, it's a little, not a big problem. And Zuki says, thinks to himself, I can't tell her about One For All because if I tell her, then I'm going to be kicked in the ass. And Zuki then says, changing the topic, hey, I heard that you were having a very unlikely time and your act was changing up for some reason. And Choco says, did I really change my act that way? And Zuki says, yeah, looking at her straight in the face, saying that, and I also saw you acting that way. I find it pretty cute, but whatever. And Ochako says, yeah, sorry about that. And Suki says, hey, you gotta get something off your chest. Say it out loud. I don't mind. I'll keep that secret to me and you. And Ochako, feeling embarrassed to hear that from Suki because of his Werehog stage, and says, I need the money to help my family. And Suki, confused on that statement, but realized, I thought you need quirk to help others work in their jobs sometimes. That's what my whole town uses their quirks, besides hero stuff. And Ochako says, different regions, different state of organizations, or state laws. And Suki says, yeah, I am from Greek, I guess. And Ochako then says, yeah. And Suki says, alright, try not to lose early, okay? And putting his hand up at a friendly gesture. And Ochako says, alright. And doing the same with her. The UA tournament has begun now. And Class 1A were getting ready to do their thing. And then Sho says this, Suki, I won't use my fire half. And Suki then says, huh? Why not? I know it ain't because I'm weak, because you see me face off with the Nomu. And Shoto said, yes, you fared minimally. And Suki then said, what's that supposed to mean? Looking at him with a straight stare of what? And Shoto says, I took the Nomu's leg and body part away with ease. You are having difficulties trying to get him down. Suki then said, psst, please, I lifted him up with my own 2 hands, thank you. Standing up and says, like hell I'm gonna lose to your ice. Or is it because you're afraid of using it when somebody close to you is around? And Shoto says this, well, we'll see. And walks off. And Suki says, geez, I know Werehog form can get cocky. This is just downright insult. Then Shaka says, I wonder why Shoto called you out for a reason. And Suki says, I don't know, but whatever it is, I'll make him use his fire. And Suki and all the students get ready to run in the running tournament, where Suki has the obvious good advantage, and almost all around. And all the students get ready, and President Mike says, alright you guys, let's get ready to rock and roll! On your mark, get set, go! And all the students were going to get outside and trying to get first place. And Suki came out first before Sho got out. Because in the lore, even if the Werehog isn't the most powerful form, it still has the speed of sound on his side, making it hard to keep pace with him. And Suki says, try to keep up! Then when he turns back to look, Suki was surprised and sees, oh shit! And dodges the robot, but keeps on running. Holy hell! Now that's what I call a surprise attack. But when he was looking at the small robot, he then hears a thud. And Suki then looks up. Are you son of a... And Suki sees the 0 pointer. And the 0 pointer then uses his foot and going to crush Suki. And Suki says, oh no you're not. And then the 0 pointer's foot was going to crush him. But Suki says, oh no, you're not. And when Suki was on the underneath the 0 pointer's foot, Suki then holds the 0 pointer's foot and pushing him up. And when pushing him up, Suku says, I am sick of it! And throwing his leg up, and Suku using his arm to grab on the leg underneath, and then runs up on the 0 pointer and running fast to get up to the top. And Suki then says, nice try, Tin Can! And kicking the 0 pointer's head when doing that, and jumping down and using his claws to slide down with the metal. And Suki says, now that's what I call a top score. And Suki then runs to the next course, and it was the tightrope. And Zuko then stretched his arms to different places and getting there quicker. Then Suki then smells. Ooh, I smell something. And then smells the little ground. And it's a landmine. Suki was looking at it like, are you kidding me? And then Suku then sniffing around and keeping a very good aware of not stepping on the landmine. And Suki then takes another smell while he was being cautious. Ugh. Usually this isn't my typical cup of tea, but I like it exploded. And when saying that, he sees ice on the ground. Huh? What the? And then he realized, Shoto, go up to me! You kidding me? And Shoto says, sorry, but I need to get first, Suku. And Suki says, oh no you're not. And Suku then doesn't care if he steps on a landmine now. He gotta take first. Then triggering one of the landmines, Suki gets launched. And Shoto says, well, you know, your speed doesn't always help. And then when Zuko heard that, oh, you're so gonna ask, you didn't say that. And Zuki then stretched his arm to Shoto, and Shoto says, oh no you're not, and freezing his arm. And Zuki then says, nice try, my fur can be used to insulate that. Breaking the ice off. And Shoto says, he's using me as a good launch pad to get first. And Suki then says, nope, sorry, not what you're thinking. And Shoto then gets thrown in the air, and Suzuki then flies to the finish line. And Shoto says, no, he's not doing that. He's doing the complicated way. And Zuki says, oh, this works so well. Zuki then gets on his 4 legs and runs towards the finish line. Haha! Number 1! Putting a pose stating out he took first place. And Suki, when was glowing a bit, he sees Ochako coming, and Chaka says, hey, I'm not surprising that you got first. And Suki says, speed is really all it takes for me. And Chaka says, wonder what's the scoreboard gonna have. And Suki says, scoreboard? Chaka says, what? You didn't know? And Suki then plops down and says, you could have told me. And his cocky state turns into depressing state. And then Midnight shows the score, and who gets a score of 1,000,000 points. And Suku saying, you're kidding me, in all surprise. And then there's going to be the headband catch. Whoever gets the most points off of the person's head wins. And Suku would take a Chaco because, well, the promise. And Suku is pretty much a nice person when he's not riled up. And Achaka knows very well that he wouldn't be a very mean person. And Hatsune goes, well, Hatsune, and challenging one, I would say Tetsu. And Tetsu says, hey, why am I here? Why you choose me last? And Suki says, Suki says this, hey, you got admit you're pretty tough. And Tetsu says, I am strong. And Suki then gives him a bit of compliments to get him on his side. And you're also very reliable, and you can also handle the attacks really good. And Tetsuo says, stop giving me all of that, making me be embarrassed. And Suki says, so, do we have a deal? Raising his hands, and Tetsuo says, I would agree, but this isn't because of the compliment. And Suki says, whatever, I was just being nice to you, mate. I wasn't being that sneaky. And Ochako says, he really is sneaky. And Hatsune says, do you know why? And Ochako says, it's kind of his thing whenever he's not in his human mode. And Hatsune says, human mode? What do you mean? Does that mean? And Ochako says, yes, this is his Werehog mode. And Hatsune says, I stroke of brilliance. And Suki says, alright, what's the plan? And all of them come up with a plan to protect Zuku or use tactical thinking. Zuku has the long range with his arm, so he can bounce back and forth. And Jocko has pretty good gravity. Hatsune has her jetpack. And Tetsuo has his metal strength and pretty good defense. So yeah, Suki has a very good coordinate on his team and gotten first with his 10,000 points without using one for all. And then the bracket of who's gonna fight who. It is gonna be Suki versus Shinzo first. And Suki says, well, this is gonna be fun. And that's where I'm ending this video. I hope you liked this video, and hope you subscribe. See you next time. Bless all.